Hey guys, and happy Friday. This is Jennifer Warren with the Warren Group at Keller Williams. I'm here with your 2021 market update. Something everyone's been talking about is this crazy market interest rates. So I am going to jump right in with a quote from NAR. NAR is your National Association of Realtors. And they are saying existing home sales totaled 5.64 million in 2020. Even in the crazy 2020 year we had, that was still up 5.6% from 2019, the most since before the Great Recession. Crazy. All right, next slide, we've got a transaction forecast. So we see here from Fannie Mae, NAR, MBA, here's what happened in 2020. 2021 forecasts for transactions are 6.7 million, up 7.5 million, still up 7.18 million, still up. Basically, what's the story here? 2020 is setting up the 2021 market. And if we continue on in this journey, what are the experts saying now? We can see here, this one is really covering a scale anywhere from NAR, your National Association of Realtors, all the way down to CoreLogic. These are our home price forecasts, projections, 6%. All 7 of these are averaging 5%. And guys, what is crazy here is that historically in this country, home price appreciation has been about 3.8%. This is way above historic average a price increase, 5%. That is crazy. What does that mean? Well, price will always be a factor of supply and demand. Limited supply, and more people are out there saying that we need a home. Of course, interest rates being that they are historically low, we can see here, the orange is where we have been. Down here in 2020 fourth quarter, we were at 2.8%, historic low interest rates. This is driving the market. They are slightly increasing by the fourth quarter in 2022, but still overall, we are at a historic low in our interest rates. All right. Mark Fleming, he's a chief economist at First American. He's saying rising interest rates reduce house buying power and affordability, but are often a sign of a strong economy, which increases home buyer demand. By any historic standard, today's mortgage rates remain historically low, and they will continue to boost house buying power and keep purchase demand robust. All right. So reality now is we're forecasting, we're looking at experts, and they're saying that we've got a good rate environment in 2021. So basically, what can we take away from this? Now is the time, people. If you were thinking about purchasing a home, now is the time with these historically low interest rates, more affordability. All right, mortgage rates projections. 2021 second quarter, going all the way to 2022, the first quarter. Again, look at these rate projections. 3.1% on the low side, 3.55 on high side. Altogether, again, this is a very, very good rate environment. One thing I think is, again, now the time, if you were thinking about selling, transacting, buying, whatever you're going to do, because the environment is going to be much more favorable at this point in the year. And as we go along, those will slightly increase and get a little more expensive. So now is the time if you are thinking of buying or selling. All right, well, that brings us to another point. All right, it's historically low inventory, historically low interest rates. So where are these listings going to come from in 2022 or 2021? Well, some people will feel more comfortable listing their home during the first half of 2021. Others will want to wait until the vaccines are widely distributed. This suggests more inventory will be for sale in late 2021 and into the spring selling season of 2022. So what are the experts saying? More inventory is going to come back on the market as people feel more comfortable. Again, remember, forecasters are saying we are going to sell still 5% more homes this year than we did in the previous year. And again, those statistics were crazy up considering the crazy year we had last year. So as people feel more comfortable, they will put their homes on the market. Month supply of inventory available. December, here's where we were sitting at 1.9. We look back, we jump back to December of last year, 3.6. Inventory across the market still sitting at an all-time low. Really, I don't want you to miss here. 2020 just redefined home for a lot of people. Certainly low interest rates are driving that demand, no doubt, but people are saying, well, we need a different home. We have different needs for our families. We need to downsize, we need to upsize, whatever that case may be. NAR has put out something saying that total housing inventory at the end of December totaled 1.0 million units. That's down 16.4% from November and down 23% from the year before. Unsold inventory sits, as we saw in the previous slide, low 1.9 months supply at the current sales pace, down 2.3 months in November and down from the 3-month figure recorded in December of 2019. Again, we saw that on the previous slide. So NAR first began tracking the single family home supply in 1982. So what are they saying here? Going all the way back to 1982, we are sitting at the lowest point that we've tracked for active inventory on the market. So what's the next piece? Next piece is this census view of working from home. 6% in 2019, 6% of the population was working from home. Clearly, last year with everything going on, that spiked to 21% working from home. And we've got about an estimated 18% moving on this year, still working home. We're slightly going down, and of course down against more at 2022. Well, what's the difference between 2022 at 12% to this 6%? Well, people are getting just a little more clarity on what this means for them. In many cases, you don't have to go back to work. You can continue working from home, continue with those Zoom meetings. Some cases, you may only have to hit back to the office about 1 or 2 days a week. So you may be thinking, well, I don't necessarily have to live where I've lived. I can work in Orlando, but live in a cheaper area and just make that commute. I've got friends who have said, hey, I can work from home. We're selling our house. We're RVing it with our kids. I've actually personally seen that a couple of times. All right, so new home sales activities, both mortgage applications and home sales, ran at a pace considerably ahead of 2019, showing the ongoing strong growth in housing demand and new residential construction. I think inventory is coming. We definitely see that in our area. New developments are popping up. We see new construction, new building going on quite all over. What does that mean? Well, if you're building a new house, you're going to be putting your current home on the market. Again, I think just as people get more clarity and feel more comfortable, homes will be coming back on the market. And here's an interesting slide, 3 reasons homeowners didn't put their house in the market last year. Financial uncertainty. Did you lose your job? Are you going to get your job back? Clearly, health concerns with COVID. And of course, too uncertain right now. We had the election last year. So I think that those concerns can be expected, but will probably go away with just as people are gaining more and more clarity, more and more comfort and safety, just with all things considered last year. Here's an interesting slide. First of all, 2.7 million people are in active forbearance right now. Here we see in this green slice of the pie, you add all these up, 51.7%, they're paid in full. Paid in full, 51%. That means that they've paid their monthly payments. They've either paid off their loan through a refinance. They've sold their home. They brought their past due payments current. So 51%, they're paid in full. Okay. They probably didn't really need it in the first place. I'm not saying that they took it out incorrectly, but they probably were just playing it on the safe side. We really didn't know beginning of 2020 really where this was all going. So, but again, 51.7%, they are paid in full. Next up, we've got our blue slice of the pie, 33%. They're working out a repayment plan. Maybe they had a deferral and they're tacking their payments on at the end for missed payments. Maybe they did a modification. Basically, the bank was just saying, hey, how do we work with you? How do we work with you? So they have worked out a repayment plan, 33%. That leaves us to this red percent, 15.3%. Well, they're still in trouble. These are the people, they don't have loss mitigation plan. They're delinquent. Maybe they've already started a short sale. Deed in lieu, all of these things that could turn it into a foreclosure at some point. Maybe not all of them will turn into, but they're still at risk. One thing to not take away from this is that there's not an issue of forbearance. We still need to closely watch this. Will there be a rise in foreclosures? Sure. But do we think it's going to be a crisis? No, I don't think we're seeing a crisis here. All right. So if you are in forbearance, one thing I do want to point out, if you're coming off of foreclosure or forbearance, if you need to know what your house is worth, what your options are, how much equity do you have in your home, how much do you still owe on your home, I can help with that. If you're curious to see what that is for you, what does that look like for you, this is what I'm here for. Definitely give me a call. Let's have those conversations. All right. So here we have another quote from another chief economist at NAR. But given the huge price gains recently, I don't think many homes will have to go to foreclosure. I think homes will just be sold. And there will be cash left over for the seller, even in a distressed situation. So that's a bit of the silver lining, in that we don't expect a massive sale of distressed properties. I think equity is very strong today. That's what's giving people their options. Something very, very different than the housing crisis that we saw before. And that housing crash, people were literally underwater. They owed more than their house was worth. Very, very different than today's situation. They owed more than they were worth in their housing crisis, so they just walked away. Very different situation today, because again, there's equity in the home. House prices are up. So it's very important that you understand what your options are. And that is something that I can definitely help you with. All right, affordability in today's real estate market. This is getting to some good stuff. Housing affordability all the way from 1990 to today. Now, here we can see that the higher the index is, so the higher these bars are, just means more affordable a home is. So where do we sit today? 168.2 today, this blue bar right here. That is our housing affordability index. We're always referencing the years here in orange, the distressed properties when the market crashed. And actually, what's really interesting, I get this all the time, people think, well, I'm going to wait to buy until houses are more affordable as they were in the crash. And while there's some element to truth of that, absolutely, let's just not miss the fact that we're still sitting at affordable homes today than we were previous to the distressed market. You can see 168, and here, previous to the distressed home period, we still are sitting at a pretty affordable housing. Okay. So percentage of income needed for mortgage payments has decreased dramatically as mortgage rates fall. Very interesting. This other piece of affordability. So the percentage of income needed for a mortgage payment is also at a historic low, 21.2%. And today, that's the historic norm. So guess where we're sitting today? 14.9. So again, another historical low number, another piece to this housing affordability. All right, so the next piece we see here, typical mortgage payment. Everyone wants to know, well, how much can you afford per month? Today, this blue bar, we're sitting at about 826. Better rate than any of these others. Woo, June of 2006, 1,309. Better rate than any time here, except of course, January 2012, That was nice. But then remember too, that the bottom of the housing crash was around January, February of 2012. So houses were extremely affordable then, as we saw in our previous slide. So that definitely beats today, but here we are. Today, very affordable, more affordable than any of these previous years. Okay, so once you include the equity benefit of price appreciation, owning makes more financial sense than renting. Guys, renting prices are outrageous. So if we take all this into consideration, let's talk about this. Where do you sit today? How much equity do you have in your house? We're increasing by 5% more than the 3.8% average. So just for fun, taking my calculator out here, average home price, let's say 300,000 times 5%, $15,000 in equity for your family. 15,000. So not only I think that we saw that 2020 has defined not only the housing market, but also our financial benefits. We see affordability of homes. We see low interest rates. We see that homes should be coming more back on the market as people feel comfortable. We've got the new building. If you are interested in a new build, I can help you. If you are interested in purchasing a home, maybe you need that extra office space. Maybe you don't need to live where you live. All of these things that I can help you with, give me a call. I would love to have a chat with you. And this is your 2021 market update. I hope you all have a happy day and dry. It's definitely raining outside. Have a good one.